Hello, everybody. And I mean everybody. Sabres fans, Habs fans. We have had way too many Habs fans in these chats the last couple days. But hello to everybody for now. Welcome to From This Point Forward, a comedy Buffalo Sabres podcast. We have some comedy. We definitely, Chris and I talked about this a couple days ago. It's more fun to talk about when they're bad. And boy, have they been bad. We have that to talk about. Let's see if we're ready to burn everything down or if we still feel like we got some hope. Excited to talk about the boys. Let's go.
Acknowledge the fact that in one of your favorite movies of all time, you thought the slogan was "Ducks quack forever" instead of "Ducks fly together."
No,
It's
you also
bad.
think they live in wells. It's the whole theme of the movie, Lou. But he had the duck call.
They go quack.
It would be Malcolm Subban, mostly because that one season where instead of letting him play for the Sabres for the last game of the year, they had him sing the national anthem. And it was a real, like, you're under contract, the season is over. We know you've only gotten to be up here a couple of times. How about you come back up here? Oh, great, I'll put my pads in the car. No. You won't need them. Just make sure you warm up the pipes when you're driving down the 90.
Mitch Marner.
You heard it, Mitch. If you want to sign here, you can drill Ryan's mom.
We did mention last episode, and I want to just have done it when you're not here or not to your face, but we did mention that if your mom's still willing, Mitch Marner's having a pretty good playoff run.
I actually may have said that I would coerce her into going through with it.
I still have zero recollection of the context from that conversation. Every time it's played, I'm like, I have no memory. It's out of my mind.
I think that might have been episode 1, but also probably smart of you to drown that out.
Happy Mother's Day, everybody.
Happy Mother's Day. We were live a couple days ago, Ryan. I know you were busy working like a loser. We had, again, 2 episodes in a row where we just had all Habs fans in the comments. So hopefully we have a little bit of Sabres fans joining us today to drown them out. Let's just start with initial thoughts. I know, Rye, you weren't here last episode, so you didn't get to talk about game 2 as well. So where are you at right now mentally with where things are?
So I've thought about this a lot. I had about a 7.5 hour car ride today, so I had a lot of time in my thoughts, and you might think that's terrible. I mean, nobody wants to sit and dwell on these thoughts. That's horrible. But I'm pretty solidly in the Aaron Rodgers doing the RELAX talk to fans. That's what I'm doing. Do we not? I know it's been a while, Sabres fans, but do we not remember what it's like to be in a playoff series and at one point to think that your team is the worst team in the fucking league, and then you turn it around and you realize it's only 2 games that they played this badly? Like, listen, I know it doesn't look good, but we all need, I'm not saying you guys, we haven't gotten to this yet, but I just think as a whole, we need to take a little bit of a chill pill. I mean, I think Lindy described it perfectly in his comments, whether it was either last night or today. he diagnosed it perfectly as to what the issues were. And then he said, we've faced adversity and we've responded all year. And I am fully confident that they're going to do it again. Now, you could say, why didn't you do it in game 3? I don't know. They didn't get the bounces. I mean, they were all over them for a period of time. They almost, it's hard to say you almost came back in a game you lose 6-2, but you're 4-2. We were live, and they were pummeling shots at the net. So I'm more so just like, yes, tomorrow is super important. We already knew that, and game 4s are always some of the most important games. But just go take care of business. I'm fine. I'm okay. I'm okay. Really, is where I'm at. Maybe this is scope again, but I'm okay. I'm fine.
You do sound like you're trying to convince yourself, but no, I believe you, and I have some stuff to add to that. But Chris, you were pretty positive a couple days ago. Where are you at after game 3?
May I have the floor for a quick moment?
Sure. Oh no. You're not.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Chris et bienvenue dans From This Point Forward, un podcast sur les Canadiens de Montréal. Une soirée passionnante hier soir au Centre Bell avant une grande victoire des Habitants. I'm ready to jump shit. I'm in full panic.
No joke.
We're in a Canada's Wonderland right now.
The commitment to the bit is great. I believe you just said we are a Habs podcast now, and I mean, not for nothing, but I think you nailed that. That sounded like me trying to speak just regular English big words. So
that's Louis ordering at a fancy restaurant.
Considering that's the 4th time I've spoken French in my life, I don't feel bad.
That's me at Quinnell.
Yeah, they're like, sir, that's Zuppa Toscana. It's not that hard to say. You get unlimited breadsticks with it too.
That's really good.
I'm not get this blue back up. I'm not full-blown panic, but I'm concerned. Throw your hand. You watched them for 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, I know, but let's just zoom out for a second. I mean, I get that I feel like this is part of a run at times. I mean, there's no such thing as a perfect series. And if we're all talking about how this is going to go 6 or 7, it's bound to happen, No,
I'm not saying that it's going to be a flawless run. I think what bothered me the most was after game 2, you heard like 3 guys in the locker room say unacceptable about game 2. I heard different guys saying unacceptable in the post game yesterday. And at what point do you act on the unacceptable? I guess that's my concern, is that we're going to go into this next game. And I need a little something. I need a little something like a lineup change, be it goalie or somewhere further down. I need just something to happen for me to feel a little bit better going into the game tomorrow. That's where I'm at.
So I think yesterday more so, like I think we've talked about this, and we talked about this a couple of days ago, where I've kind of always loved this team this year, is that even in their bad games, it hasn't felt like an effort issue. And game 2, I kind of felt the same way. Yesterday, I don't know if it was so much an effort issue, but the Tage and Tuck on the back check for the 3rd goal is not a good look. The overall defensive play and commitment was not a good look. The inability at the end to maybe send a message in a game that was getting away from you with a fight or more physical play, not a great look. So like, am I a little bit more? I texted you guys. I said, hey, I might not play my regular bad guy, the stuff that's ready to, I'm flying off the radar because I'm super worried. I don't think that I'm not super worried. I do think there are a lot of things that need to change in the sense, like, I'm ready. I think I tweeted today, Hellenius in for Zucker would be my first move. Zucker played 6 minutes. He's either hurt or just dying. I mean, just dead. I mean, he's a 30-some-year-old player, and after 100 games, he might just not have a lot in the tank. I told you about this a few podcasts ago, where like he doesn't have great playoff numbers to begin with, but that line is horrible. They're like a minus something stupid in the playoffs. And they really just, they lost whatever they had earlier in the year. So if you're only going to play him 6 minutes, I understand the point when people are like, Hellenius maybe doesn't belong getting a shot here in a 2-1 series in Montreal as a 20-year-old. I do kind of understand that, but also your best player this series is a 20-year-old. So like, I don't know if I want to listen to that. So that's one of the moves. I think the second move, and I don't understand this aspect. Why are so many fucking people pushing back on the obvious? I think it's so obvious notion that Tage Thompson's hurt. He's fucking hurt. You cannot tell me that his knee is not fucked up. He's not getting any push off the back leg on his shots. His speed is half of what, I mean, it's just, you could tell it's just fact of like how he's moving out there. It's not an effort thing at all. It's even when he's trying or trying his hardest, you can tell he is at half speed. So I don't know why, and you pushed back at me about this, Chris, and I think yesterday even became even more apparent how hurt he is. I think he needs to move to the wing, and maybe that takes a little bit of the defensive responsibility away from him. I know that, listen, when he's healthy, we all talked about it on this podcast. I think we all agreed that he was better at center. He was going better. I think he plays a lot better when he had that defensive responsibility. It just made him a better player. But I'm ready to move him to the wing if he's hurt and banged up, where he doesn't need all that and doesn't need to move as much. So that's another move I'd make. And then the other two moves, and I'm going to get you guys a chance here to just react on all these. The other two moves that could happen are a swap of defense. I don't think Lindy Ruff is taking out Timmins. I just don't see it. He's just too much of a valuable penalty killer. So I don't think that he's going to do it. I would take him and Stanley out and put in Metza and Kesserling. My point here is that this isn't the series for Stanley and Timmins. I totally agree. They were the ones that should have been in for the Boston series when it was a little bit rougher, a little bit more, grinding. The only way you're going to beat this Canadiens team is if you play the way you've played all year and just go and score more. Play the river hockey, and you might score more than them. But trying to stop these guys or slow them down is not going to fucking happen. It's just not. So get some speed back there. Get Metz's outlet pass back there. I like that idea. And then the real conversation, and why don't we start there? Why don't we start with this conversation, and then we can go to the lineup things. Let's start with the goalie thing. I'm not going to be pissed no matter which way Lindy goes. Lyon's been great. There's no doubt about it. He deserves zero fault for these two losses. I don't know. The first two goals the other night were a little thing you would want back, but he doesn't deserve losses for these. But is it just the shake the team thing up? Is it what I've said all year, where I think UPL has the higher ceiling to steal a game? Whatever reason, I would prefer UPL next game. But I'm not going to, take a really tough stand and say, hey, especially if they make other lineup changes. I don't mind if Lyon goes in. Ryan, thoughts on the goalie situation?
I would understand it if that's the decision that Lindy arrives at. My personal decision would be to stick with Lyon. My basis for that is UPL is one of the last goalies that I think of when I want someone to instill confidence in my team and calmness. he is just very much not that. And I know he's done well in stretches. I just don't know, cold off of, 2 weeks essentially of sitting around, how I'm going to do putting him in after being 7 games sitting on the bench. So I'd rather just stick with Lyon. It hasn't been his fault. And just quickly before Chris answers, yes, I agree that, you can't get away from your game, but they did at one point, perfect the defensive style of the game and sort of take their chances. I mean, they were playing at times throughout the regular season. And then against Boston, I know Boston, it's so hard to compare the two. They're not anywhere near as skilled or fast as Montreal. And I get that. But just for reference, look at what Tampa was able to do against them. You look at the scores of these games: 4-3 overtime win for Montreal in game 1, 3-2 Tampa win, 3-2 Montreal win, 3-2 Tampa win, 3-2 Montreal win, 1-0 Tampa win, and then finally a 2-1 Montreal win to close out the series. So they were able to stifle this attack. And I know that we're built different, but where the hell has our defensive top 4 gone? I mean, that group was just so okay, we have this thing, and that's locked in. We know we have really good. We maybe have a third pairing question, but that was such a given, and that's gone. And so that's the biggest concern for me. And the undisciplined, stupid penalties that they're taking in the offensive zone and just giving Montreal, who's already a talented team at 5-on-5, they're giving them an even better chance because they can the way they move the puck on a 5v4 is clinic. So, you can't shoot yourself in the foot. And I think that's what they've done for 2 games in a row. And if you stop beating yourselves, I don't think it looks so lopsided.
I agree. I'm sorry, Chris, we're going to get to your question on that, but then let me ask you, Ryan, this, and then Chris, you could answer both questions. But out of those 4, because I agree, right? The top 4, they have looked poor, and obviously the defensive game has looked poor, but when you try to limit, all right, who's not doing great? Well, Dahlin hasn't been himself defensively, but he's been doing really good offensively. Byram's been really good offensively. Power's been the best defensive defenseman on the team, I think. So now those 3, you have a reason for. My guy Samuelson that I want to kind of get more out of. I guess that's what I'm asking you. Out of those 4, who are you most disappointed with through these?
Samuelson, honestly, Samuelson,
I think it is.
because I had higher expectations for him. But the guy I think I've been most impressed with, top to bottom, is Byram. He's had the most complete game, and he's had the most or the least he had that one really kind of rough game in Boston when everyone had a bad game. But otherwise, he's been the most consistent play. Dahlin is disappointing because, you expect a little bit of a higher level for him, but at any time he can turn that on. So I'm, like I said, guys, I know it might just be, maybe I need to wake up and recognize that these patterns in the game are really not good. And I agree, but I also think that they've done some really, silly things that have just put themselves in these positions, and I think that they can actually break out of this if they clean it up. So I'm expecting that really tomorrow.
Got a guy supporting the podcast stuff. I keep going. Habs fan here wanted to say Dahlin and Benson are setting the rat culture. Benson's going to be hated like Marchand for sure. I mean, Benson, and we'll get into that here shortly. But I mean, obviously, this kid's really came into his own, and everybody on that team hates him right now. And he's still. I think Chris and I mentioned this the other day. The crazy thing about Benson is that, usually when you start being that agitator, you're going to get, eventually the refs are going to be done with you and start calling calls on him. He's still getting calls drawn on him. So yeah, Benson's been great. I don't totally agree with Dahlin on that. He's a little bit weak and I think he's kind of shied away from confrontations when I would have liked to see him be a little bit more tough. But all right, Chris, your goalie take, and then top 4 defensemen that's disappointing.
So I agree with Ryan's take on the defense. That was actually something. Sorry, I got distracted by the other game. That was actually something that I wanted to talk about, and it factors into my goaltending situation because, yeah, we talk about the river hockey. We talk about all through even during the winning streak where it was like they found different kind of ways to win. The bread and butter for this team towards the end of the season, even before getting into the playoffs, was that sound defensive zone and puck possession game. And they are not having either of those things go very well for them right now. That's almost why I want the goaltending change, because, and I'm a crazy person, put Ellis in, really make the D clamp down, okay? Because this is where my head's at.
Let's go Levi and really fucking get crazy if you're gonna do it.
I want chaos. I want Colton Ellis to just decide to do a windmill when they aren't in the zone, and then somehow he's laying backwards, looking inside the net and makes a save, okay? That's what I want before this series is over. I think a goaltending change will help lock that defense in when they're inside the zone. Would it work? I don't know, but like they have been off.
I love the thought that they're like, oh, we have Ellis back there. We better get our shit together tonight.
Yeah. Yes. I was at the Columbus shutout when they were diving in front of pucks to stop them because they knew if they got through, they would blow the shutout. Okay.
Yeah. You tell me Tuck's not he's not dogging it on a back check when like last night when Dallas is back there. That's right.
When you have a goalie who doesn't have a 900 minimum save percentage, you're back checking. Okay, you're back checking. That's all.
Let's go a step farther. Let's go Ryan Vins. Put Ryan Vins in
there. There wouldn't be one shot on goal. There, I tell you that the defense, the play would be all five guys would just play back, just blocking shots. What if all six guys just stand in front of the net until overtime? Can we
Chris,
do that?
Your point is a good one, though. That is like kind of what I was thinking, and that's the identity that they've established. I disagree that it's this like, you know, river hockey. I know, I mean, they play like that at times, and it's fun. But you're right that, I mean, I just have these visions of how they played at the end of the regular season and when they were really stringing some wins together. I mean, they were just stifling teams. They were suppressing all of the shots. Everything was low danger chances to the outside that, you know, you didn't even need the perfect. And then they were still getting the saves. And that's the thing. I still think you can get these saves from Lyon. It's just everything else has fallen. I mean, they're getting high danger chances. We're nowhere to be found in the defensive zone, and we're hamstringing ourselves because we're taking dumb penalties and penalties that are just unnecessary. There's never a time that you should take a penalty in the offensive zone. Stop doing that. Be disciplined. Change your game and move your feet. So,
there's no let's get back to the lineup changes. I already kind of spoke my mind on that. I would like you guys specifically to answer when we do this, though, about my Tage point, because I really think that would help him right now if he's struggling. But I'll start with you, Chris.
I'm not going to have this argument with you again. If he can't play the game, he shouldn't be playing.
I don't agree.
He's either the dumbest person in the world or he's not healthy enough to play.
Everybody plays unhealthy. There's guys that will play. I understand what you're saying. You don't want to
he's leading the team in negative points. He's minus.
You don't want to compromise the
detriment to the team.
There is a certain extent to that, but then him and Lindy need to get on the same page and be like, listen, this is where I'm limited. I'm going to play power play minutes. I need to play the wing, and maybe I don't have the regular shift or whatever. But like, you can't sit your best player. If he's hurt,
he is not the best player right now.
I don't know.
I think you both can be right in a certain way. Like I agree that with Louis' point that we should try to insulate him a little bit right now because there's a lot going on, and whether it's confidence only or there really is a lingering injury that he doesn't want to talk about because they haven't been reporting anything, which might be another part of it, right?
Yeah.
He's not going to want to say, "Oh yeah, I've been dealing with because they haven't said anything."
Sorry, right. Just let me cut you off because you weren't on the last episode. Did you see the video that people are sharing of the slew foot from McAvoy that takes out his knee in like game 3 or something like that everyone's pointing to?
I mean, I do remember seeing that in real time. That's what they're pointing to now as being potentially.
And it makes a lot of sense. It really does, that it could be a knee issue. But sorry,
It could. And, he also has a lot of incentive for Montreal not to get wind of that because that they would absolutely be targeting it. So, yeah, I think a move to wing is a decent idea. I mean, the drivers of play right now are Benson and Doan. Unfortunately, we don't have enough guys that are driving the puck play right now. And so you have to then make the tough decision of, well, do you split them up because they've been playing like absolute dogs together? And, the chemistry is obviously there. And then fucking Norris on that line is just like riding along with the two smartest kids in the class for an A. I'm not going to say he's done nothing, but like, I'm just saying when the puck comes his way, it's like, he's like, whoa, shit, here it is. Like, I guess I got to do something important now. Like, I don't know. I'm just, I'm not as impressed with how he's played.
Listen, I mean, he's been dog shit in an offensive sense. I mean, he's had, you and I talked about it the other night when we were at the game together. He has had some wide open chances. He has had some really good opportunities to score, and he's missed every single one. He's missed on shot. I mean, totally whiffed on one-timers. He's struggling with that. My point of not necessarily wanting to rush to move that line is that I do believe that he does things that don't show up on the score sheet that allows Benson and Doan to play the way they do, whether that be a little bit more defensive responsibility, whether that be a better, setup guy. I do think that I think that chemistry moves. It does not get better if you put another center next to him. And if what
his biggest contribution to this team has been, it's that because he has such a big cap hit, he just looks like the biggest asshole out there. So he just takes all the heat. He just has like the biggest target on his back.
Yeah.
So I listen, I know I'm being tough on him, but you just expect more from a player like that. And I know I agree that he's done, like there's been a couple of times, like it does take 3 guys to have a cycle in a forecheck, right? You're going to have to, he's doing something out there. So I get what you're saying about, chipping pucks in and helping to keep the cycle going and helping Doan and Benson do their thing. But you need more from a guy that you were kind of expecting there was going to be more, or hope, I guess, there was going to be more in the playoffs.
Can we, for a second, I don't want to get too away from the series, but I don't think Chris and I talked about this the other day, and I wanted to talk about these reports that have come out that were like, oh, the Sabres didn't want to add Norris to get the Thomas deal. Complete bullshit. That there is no way that's true. We've talked about in this podcast, you would have to give up picks with Norris just for a team to take him for free. If you thought the Sabres wouldn't fucking throw him so quick as part of that deal, you're fucking stupid. And if you think St. Louis wanted him as that part of the deal, you're stupid. Like, there's just zero chance that that's what held up that deal. And that's the dumbest fucking rumor I've ever heard. And people are sticking on it like it makes, and then they're getting mad. Oh, if this was what held it up, they're stupid. There's zero chance. Let me tell you. Go ahead, Chris. You sound like you want to say something. Or look.
Jack Quinn, Noah Osland, and a first for Josh Norris.
I'm telling you, whatever. That did not happen. And again, he definitely deserves a criticism. And to your point, Ryan, they might have to move those 2 guys. And in my projected, in my lines with this. Listen to this. This is where what I wanted to see that I presented was him actually, and I know what this sounds like because of how he's played, but him moving up to the top line and playing with Krebs and Thompson on the wing, McLeod, Tuck, Quinn, Hellenius, Benson, Doan, and then your fourth line, Carrick, Melestein, and Greenway.
I think I want to see my only request would be to see Doan playing with Tuck, because another issue with this team right now is I think we need to get a little bit of a spark out of Tuck, and you need to put one of those two guys with him. And he's not a guy I think that plays well with Benson. He and Doan, there's a lot of offensive potential there, because Doan is, really good at finding, passes in the slot where Tuck can, find those open areas. That's where Tuck can really thrive. I want them to play together tomorrow, big time.
Yeah, I don't hate that idea.
Didn't they play together in like late December during the early days of the 10-game streak when Norris came back that first time?
Yes, and I also think they were playing
Tuck was
together
on the second
at
line
one
with
point
Doan.
in January, because I have a recollection around the night that the 05-06 reunion night, that home game that I went to, he had that huge game, Doan did, and I'm pretty sure he was playing with Tuck that night. I'll have to go back and look, but I'm pretty sure he was. So they've played together before. I just feel like that might ignite the offense. I would probably lean towards splitting up Benson and Doan, even though they've been great together. I just think you need more of the spark plugs spread out to kind of be contagious, right? You need other guys to wear off.
I mean, let's talk about. I mean, they just switched up the power play, and that worked immediately. I mean, the power play looked really, really good. That power play won, and so I don't think that has to mean fear of losing chemistry. What the fuck are we losing? That McLeod line that we all said zero chance. That's the line to ever break up because of how good they look for 65, 70 games have been brutal. And so that has to go. So what are you breaking that up? The Tage line, obviously something's going on with Tage, and with Tage that line runs. And so so what are you breaking up besides the Norris line? And to your point and to everyone's point on fucking Sabres Twitter is that Norris isn't playing great. So maybe it is time to split those two guys that are driving the play. I think this team has a way bigger defensive problem right now than it does on the offensive side, but I do want to make some changes. You did not really get a chance to finish that, Chris. Thoughts on lineup changes you would make going into the next game outside of the goalie?
I'm kind of in the reverse way on how you were saying getting Doan and Tuck together, because I do think just for breath of fresh air, you need to get Tuck somewhere else in that lineup, because how I was yelling about Tage being a -7, Tuck is a -6. It's they're having a rough. They need something. Yeah. I'm almost wondering if on that top line, if you flip Krebs to the center with Tage and we try and get Jack Quinn going, because it feels like last game was not, but game 1 and game 2, it felt like he was on the cusp. He was hitting crossbars. He was hammering clappers from the slot. I think,
hammering clappers, dude. Let's fucking clip that. Sorry.
The only thing better if you would call them clap bombs instead, right there.
But I that would be something that I would like to do. Shake up the top two lines a little bit.
Ryan, it would what?
Yeah,
what,
I'm co-signing on just do something, right? Do something Lindy, right? It's so funny after all these years, do something Darcy has turned into do something Lindy. I mean, he's going to. He's not afraid to shake this up. And truly, I also don't think this team is some, fragile group that, yeah, they're so set in their ways. I remember back in the day hating when Lindy would mess with the lineup so much. Just keep these guys together. Let them get some chemistry. No, now is not the time. They've had 2 games where they've lacked or lost a spark. Now's the time. Switch something up in practice. Get somebody going on a new line. I was kind of hoping to see that. Probably tomorrow we'll see what the line rushes look like, but I'm really interested to see because I expect it to look. If 3 of the lines don't look different tomorrow, I'll be shocked. Really.
anything on the defensive end, Rye?
I guess what they tried to do, they played a lot of the top 4. They tried to shelter. I mean, yes. Do I think you should take Stanley out? Yeah, of course. Do I think it's reasonable that that's going to happen? No, I just don't see it happening. Whether it's in mandate from the Yarmo, I just feel like they've kind of like penned in this Stanley thing, and they're not going to mess with it. I'll be thrilled if they decide to switch that up. I do think they need a puck mover out there. I don't think that you need to match this meanness. Just go play your game again. This is exactly what we were starting to do against Tampa is, get away from our game and get away from our identity. Find your identity again. Find your edge. And yeah, it's where's the puck possession? What have the possession stats were the last 2 games? We're just not seeing the puck for extended periods of time. And so, yeah, some combination of lines has to work. There's a lot of talented guys here. I like the idea of trying to get Quinn going. I also don't want it to be at the expense of Tuck and the other guys, but who knows?
Yeah. Chris, thoughts on any changes on the defensive end?
I would like to see, I guess they kind of tried Kesselring that one game, but they didn't really play him much. I guess maybe working a Metza back in, just somebody, a steady hand to make an easy breakout pass. It's a 50-50 ball on Timmins or Stanley for me, which one comes out. Yeah, Timmins, the penalty kill, but not last game.
Yeah.
And the same kind of thing with Stanley. And it's a tough one because Stanley's had good defensive play, but if he's even a little bit out of position against this Montreal team, they are right past him. So he would be my first one to go, but I just don't know if they're going to pull the trigger on that.
Remind me after this discussion point, I want to talk about the penalty kill for 1 second, but just today, the Sabres weren't practicing, but Hellenius, Kozak, Shen, Metza, and Dunn went out there with Ellis and UPL. No Pearson and no another guy. No Pearson and no Kesselring. That might mean that those 2 guys are the ones. Pearson would be a weird choice for me. Especially over Hellenius. There's zero chance. I think you and I talked about this, Chris. There's zero chance that they're not making a Hellenius decision based on the entry level contract, right? They're not that. They're in a good. They would not care about that.
I hope not.
You think so, Rye? You think there's any chance?
I think no. I don't think that's holding them back. No, I think there's other reasons because. I also think that's kind of, I get that you're burning a year, but that's another year. I get that they don't really have leverage as far as their production goes, right? You have, you're just adding a year to a bridge deal, maybe? I don't know. I'm fine with it. Whatever. Just go win the damn thing. So.
Yeah, I think it's personally, if he does not make the lineup, it's a Lindy thing. my fear today, listening to the Lindy presser, was kind of the calmness, and I don't hate that. Like he's definitely evolved as a coach, right? I mean, we've all seen the video today of 20 years ago when he lost his fucking mind during the playoffs because they had a bad game and he made them practice bags, the next day. But he's definitely changed. He seemed pretty calm and confident in the group. And I wonder if that doesn't mean that he's going to limit these changes a little bit. And with Kesterling being the one that missed that practice today, that, if you wanted to use that as a sign that these guys might play already, Pearson's weird to begin with. And Ryan, you mentioned it. The last time Kesterling had a chance to play, he played fucking 5 minutes. Like, I don't think Lindy loves him either. So, I hope so. I just think Kesterling fits this series better, this team better, playing against Montreal because of the speed. But I'm a little bit leery. I am ready to be disappointed when the line rushes come out tomorrow. I'll say that. I'm not expecting all the changes that I am projecting. I'm expecting to be disappointed. I wanted to get back to the penalty killer real quick.
Just quickly, can I ask, speaking of a penalty kill, can I get your 20-second take on, and I'll give, I was listening to Jeremy and Owen today on the drive, and they're talking about whether Greenway should go get his
stick. That was what I was going to say. So that's
okay, perfect. Yeah, 100% in my opinion. And I played some hockey, not, competitive hockey in any respect, but I think it's a good idea. I think it's so silly when you're watching a guy out there that's basically, out there without a limb, just go get the damn stick in the 7 seconds that it would take you to go get it. You're not harming the team any more than you are by waiting out there for another minute with a huge disadvantage. I just don't understand how we haven't figured out kind of simple things like that. That's my take on it.
It's a league-wide thing. Everybody does it. Man, we should just be a Canadians podcast. All of our Canadians friends, all of our Canadian friends come back in here. You missed the whole bit from Chris earlier.
Pete Valeska, go back to the beginning of the pod. That's for you boys. Thanks for coming back.
Chris spoke fucking French for you guys.
Wonderland.
Chris spent hours on fucking what's that? It's the language learning thing. Yeah, hours last night trying to learn French for you guys. No, Ryan, I know the stick was broken. Here he's saying the stick's broken. No, we're not saying that he should have tried to. Listen, everybody in the league sits there and does this, right? No one goes back to the bench. What the argument is, to me, and a lot of us are talking about, is why is that any better? Sitting out there like that on a basically a 5-on-3 for that long, instead of, can bad things happen when you go to that bench and grab another stick or get off the ice? Of course. And that's why the whole league has been scared to do it. It's not like a Sabres thing. No one makes that move. But when you see these guys out there for that long, it's fucking, I thought it was stupid. And you could just feel that goal was coming. Chris, thoughts?
It was just funny, the broken stick thing, because when that happened in game 2, when Jordan Greenway also got pinned in on a penalty kill for 2 minutes and 48 seconds with no stick, somebody in the stands brought up why doesn't he just use the broken one? His buddy just goes, because he'll stab somebody with it. So he can't use it. And when I saw that in the chat, it reminded me of that. I don't get why that old school like, if it's 15 seconds left in the kill and you've got another guy coming out, stand in there. But when it's 15 seconds in, and especially when it's second period and you got that long change, like, what are we doing?
You're literally it takes like 6 seconds, like 3 seconds to get there and 3 seconds to get back to the zone. You're not far.
Well, this happened again to you guys yesterday. Leslie saying as a Habs fan, we made one against Tampa when icing was stuffed by a broken stick. It happened again yesterday.
It happened when they were making that push when they were within 2.
Yeah. And they shoot it down and it got stuck by stuck and canceled out an icing. Of course, yeah, the broken stick. I mean, they're just made so much shittier. Plus, these guys are stronger and whatever. It's just broken sticks are a thing. And to your guys' points in the chat about it happening more often, then maybe it's time for the league to adjust in those situations and say maybe it's not the smartest thing to sit out there and wait until a whistle. And trying to get off the ice a little bit more, but
they're hammering too many boom boom clappers with those sticks. They can't handle
them. What else have we not talked about? I mean, tomorrow it's so fucking stupid. Obviously, a must win. Like it's not anybody's going to say it. Of course, can they go win? Yeah, of course they could. But tomorrow's a must win. But to the way everyone's freaking out. To Ryan's point, you go and you win the game tomorrow, and it's a 3-game series, and you got the home ice. Like it's not that crazy right now. I'm not there.
If they win tomorrow night, my chances of seeing Colton Ellis in Game 5 go down dramatically. I'm throwing banana peels outside of UPL's car if they lose tomorrow, just to try and get Ellis one more start. I couldn't do it for Malcolm Subban. The least I can do is do it for Colton Ellis, you know?
That's true. Thoughts on how that power play one looked? I mean, that it was finally clicking. That one where they're down 2 and fucking Benny just, I can't call him Benny. I really need to stop calling him Benny. I do it so much, but the kid's 20 and I should not be calling him by a nickname. It feels weird. I feel not okay with that. So, but he just misses it. That it just squirts through. Man, it felt like that power play was on the cusp of actually being pretty good. And you know what they didn't do yesterday? They didn't do the whole backwards pass 27 times, 40 yards. I mean, they actually were skating it in and just either skating right by them or chipping it in and going through. I maybe saw 2 or 3 of those backwards outlet like slingshot passes.
Louis, I'm going to go the other way. I'm only going to call players by their nicknames. So it's going to be Benny, Donor, Tomer. What's the other one? Oopie, Dolls. Yeah. I mean, they are really also like, it's like if it's like the couple you hate the most, like if they had like endearing names for each other and they like just and then you found out what they are. It's like that's what all of these nicknames sound like. Like, hey, Oopie. Like all right, I'm sorry. That's just what it sounds like to me. Yeah, no other takes on the hockey thing. I just had takes on nicknames. That was it.
Predictions. Let's go predictions. Let's just stay to tomorrow. Let's not get crazy. Predictions just for
you don't want to get ahead of yourselves when we're down 2-1. Is that what you're saying?
Don't want to get ahead of ourselves. What do we feel like what happens tomorrow, Chris?
I'm not feeling good.
No.
2-1 heartbreaker. They actually shut it down, but they can't score.
Ryan.
You know, guys, as we know, I've always been the optimistic one in this podcast. Always believed in this team. Right from day one. And I think the dream stays alive, boys. I think we have another pod next Monday where we don't hate our lives and we have another emergency pod, but it's emergency because we're all celebrating
if the Sabres do what you say, we might not be able to do that pod because that will be Game 7 next month.
Oh, they're gonna win in 6 because
just 3 straight. Okay.
Yeah, listen, I would not. I mean, I wish I could actually bet that. Like, why can't I bet that actual result?
Look at that. Pete's got the Sabres winning tomorrow, and he's a Habs fan. So fucking
Pete's trying to reverse mush me into a Habs jersey.
Yeah, for sure.
Whose jersey I'm not buying from the Habs is Alex Newhook. Fuck that guy. Right? I mean, where is he coming from? He's good. Fuck him. I hate him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to reserve.
He's too good. I hate him.
That's right.
I want to reserve my opinion and prediction until I see line rushes. If there's limited moves, I really would be pretty nervous about them responding. If there's some moves and they open up the game, I don't totally disagree, Ryan, with your point of maybe trying to go the other way and shutting down. And that might be a Lindy move. I mean, he hasn't played that way in a really long time, but maybe that's where he thinks they need to do tomorrow. I'm going to say that this will be our first overtime game of the series. And I don't feel great. I will say this. I would not feel like the series was over. If they I would not. Everybody in this city, you will be able to go to Game 5 for $40 if you want. If they lose,
because it'll be a sea of red. You won't be able to get in there. It'll be all.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think I would feel good. Honestly, not good, but I would feel decent about their chances, especially because if they didn't make changes tomorrow and it led to a loss, I feel like they would be like, fuck it. We're just like Plumer said, fucking let's put Ellis in there. Is fucking is Merca ready? Is Merca ready to go? Let's go.
Can they bring Malcolm Subban back for the album or the anthem while we're at it?
Yes.
I mean, yes.
Get Cammy out of there.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm not trying to be a coward here and not make a prediction. It's just if they try to roll out this lineup or similar, I'm not going to feel great. And I really don't know if I had confidence that it would all switch. After listening to Lindy talk today, I don't have that much confidence. I think he's going to try to believe in this group like he has all year. They haven't lost 3 games in a row. Am I wrong? Maybe towards the end of the year March. They did at the end of the year, right? Once. Well, it's I've liked this team's fight all year. What I don't like is they've looked defeated these last 2 games in the post games, and you got the guy that wants $12 million a year saying he's made the worst defensive play, in the playoffs. It's just like, why are you not thinking about that when you're on the ice? It's all baffling to me. Like you said, they're all saying the right thing in the locker room. I don't know if I'm buying into the fact that, especially when I really do believe integral parts of your team right now in Thompson and probably Zucker are injured. And whatever, like I said, everyone's injured this time of year. I think Thompson's too big of a blow. Well, let's hope that we aren't recording next Monday, or like Ryan said, maybe we win 3 in a row and we are here to talk about the next series versus Carolina after their 1-month vacation. Again, I love that Montreal fans are getting into the South Buffalo hate and they don't even know. Should promise the players South Buffalo hookers if they win. Ryan, you weren't here. We hated on South Buffalo so bad last game or last
yeah, you didn't get to talk about Warren Spahn with us.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You missed. I don't know if you saw me get shit on Twitter because I said Panicking and Gronk were bad representations of Buffalo as athletes because they're both fucking morons. I'm not going to say the word I said a few weeks ago, but morons. And fucking all South Buffalo came from me.
Listen, you missed one episode of From This Point Forward. You're going to miss a lot of really good callbacks. So I missed it.
You did. Well, thank you for all the Habs fans in the comments again. We are looking forward to becoming the Habs podcast if you guys win.
We're going to be just like the NHL documentary. We're just going to change everything and go follow the Habs.
Another AI fucking Habs fucking logo.
Actually, it's nothing's different. Like we've been this way the whole time.
Nothing's different, but we do all try to speak French. That's all. We all do it in French. All right. Well, I just don't have any last thoughts, Chris, Ryan, or just say goodnight. All right. For Chris Plumer, for Ryan Mura, I'm Louis G. Go Sabres.